3. I don't think this lecture hall doors are opening. We're gonna have to break in.
Oh my
We're gonna have to
gosh.
break a window because we're such good students that we just can't not go to class today.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I spent all this time on a paper. I expect to be able to turn it in.
I know because
What's
this
going
is
on?
we can't just email it here at Salem University. This has to be hand delivered, hand turned in to Professor Angela, but she's nowhere to be found.
I know. I'm gonna insist on a better grade from this woman.
I'm gonna wrap my elbow with my Letterman's jacket that I earned in high school that I brought to college because I just can't let it go. And I'm gonna break the window and we're gonna climb on into the lecture hall for this week's Days for Dummies class.
Days for
Days for
dummies.
Dummies, because I mean, it's a little bit. We're just waiting on Angela, folks. We're just waiting on her to show up. We don't know where she's fine. We've
She's
heard from
posted.
her.
Yes, we've
She was
heard.
restarting her computer, but we haven't seen her since.
That's what
So
we
I
know.
assume she turned it off and couldn't turn it back on again.
Oh, well, I imagine that right now, Professor Angela might be using some very colorful
She
language.
might. She probably is. She definitely is. She's saying, "This is just such a blue computer.
Mhm.
Gosh, pink this."
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Very colorful lane.
Where is that? And maybe, if she had, since he's so busy on his laptop all the time, he must know a secret or two. That Everett, that boring
Oh,
ass Everett.
that's what it is. Everett, evil side of Everett has blocked Angela's access to this week's podcast. He's like,
He's
she
out.
is
He's
too
out
informative.
there.
She's too in the know of what's going on in here in Salem, and so I've got to limit her reach.
There's a lot of people in Salem though.
Yeah, it's a bummer because some real big sad news happened
Oh,
yesterday, and I was hoping to be able to get Angela's take on it because of course she knows the character and the actor's legacy far better than we do.
oh, far better.
And that's
I wonder.
Bill Hayes, right? That's the name, right? Bill Hayes.
Yes,
Bill Hayes,
yes.
who plays
He's
Doug.
played Doug Williams.
Doug Williams passed away a couple of days ago.
And I knew this.
98 years old.
Oh,
I
wow,
know
right?
what a run.
What a run.
It's
What a
so fun,
run.
man. It's not fun, but it's one of those funny things that you don't laugh at, but you don't have a better word to attach to it than funny. Hey,
Mhm.
Bozzolini. Um, where like the decade that you pass away has a very different reaction from those who know you. When you're
Mhm.
50, it's like, oh man, what a bummer. They still had so much to go. 60, oh man, that's still a little too young. 70, well, I mean, I mean, gosh, I wish they had a couple of more, another decade in there. 80 or 90, you're like, what a run. What a
Yes, for the
well-earned
most
life and
part.
legacy.
I think
It's
so.
like the older you are, the more okay everything is, I suppose. Because once you get to like 100, 120, you're like celebrating, and that's when parties are thrown and people pop off streamers.
Well, yeah, that's when you live to be that old. Beyond 100 years old. I think the government automatically sends you a birthday card.
They should automatically
I
send you a
think
check
so.
too.
But I think like a presidential birthday card comes to you
Well, that's pretty
if
cool.
you reach 100.
That's
I
neat.
believe that happens.
Oh, that's neat. Signed by the president.
Well, it's at least stamped with a saint name.
I'd hate to have turned
But
100
you know
years
what?
old a few
I
years ago.
wouldn't I wouldn't be surprised though, because it's not like, I mean, plenty of people reach 100 years old, but it's not millions.
Right.
So
No.
I think it would be conceivable that the president would actually at least initial them or do a real scribble. I don't
Do
know.
a little something.
Do you think so?
Let everybody know that,
But yeah,
we can
I heard
support.
that news yesterday too, that Bill Hayes passed away.
Yes, yes, yes. But 98
Yes.
years old though. I mean, what a long life, career, what a legacy that he's left behind. I saw somewhere that he was like television's longest running actor of all time.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised because I know that, like for instance, Suzanne Rogers has been on there 50 years.
Yeah.
So I imagine, and maybe he has too. I don't really know how long he's been on them, but I
Well,
imagine
let's
at
find
least
out.
I wouldn't be surprised. And you know what's unique about their situation too is uh his wife on
Is his
dates
wife.
is his
Is
wife.
Julie.
Yeah,
In
is
real life
Julie.
and on the show.
Yes. So, and I don't remember her first name. Of course, it's Hayes, but I don't remember her first name. Anyway, yeah, but that's unique. So, wouldn't it be really hard for them to have some kind of episode where it's all about Doug and Julie has to be there? It's almost like I don't know. I would think as an actress, as a person, wouldn't that be hard to do?
It would be. It would absolutely
And
be.
so unique.
But luckily enough, because Days of Our Lives is filmed so far ahead,
Mhm.
that if they were to start production tomorrow,
Mhm.
it would still take 6 months for it to be on the air. And I don't think
It
they're going to
would.
be starting on it tomorrow.
Well, no.
Because they
With
do have
that
that breath to go through, like they can keep that in mind that they don't have to immediately start working on this right now because there's going to be a delay anyway, which could give
yes.
everybody involved, everybody who knew him best and loved him most, enough time to process their personal life feelings so they can perform a professional farewell.
But even if they did it right now, it would be on so far away from now, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
But I did see that he has a couple of air dates left.
Yes.
Yes, he's gonna they say that he the last time he was on set was in November. So that means, late spring, he's gonna be
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. Let's see. Bill Hayes, Sandra. Hey, Sandra. Sandra contributes. They gave Bill Hayes a great line in the Christmas episode. He looked at Everett and said, "I don't trust him." Doug was the quintessential con man when he came on screen. And
And when
now,
was that? And when was that?
I looked it up. It was 1970. So he's been on for 3 years longer than Suzanne Rogers. He's been on for 53 years.
Wow.
Yeah. And that
Is he
wasn't his
still
first job. He had been doing television
yeah.
appearances and singing Davy Crockett and being a part of entertainment um, since the 40s, I think it was.
Yeah. Well, he is 98.
So,
Yeah.
so he had like a 30-year career before even coming on to Days of Our Lives. Sandra says that she doesn't expect a tribute show until fall. And yeah, for sure. For sure. At bare minimum, it's going to be 6 months from this date. At bare
Yeah, and
minimum.
I don't think that anybody there on set would be um would think it would be beneficial to them to do it right now. I mean, it would just be
No.
too
What plus?
painful.
You got to write it. You got to
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
Sandra says that she was in school, but she remembers that. She
Mm.
remembers that. I guess him being the quintessential con man. 1970 to 1984, 86 to 87, 93, 94, 96, 99 to 2023. So pretty much forever.
Yeah, and I saw pictures of he and his wife from decades ago too. So, I'm sure they split up and got back together when they were younger characters on Days.
Oh, definitely, especially if he was a con man, right?
Yeah, but I saw photos of them together in character where they're very
It's yeah, it's a thing.
Mhm.
Definitely a thing.
And I saw a headshot of him where I mean it looks like it might be like the 1940s. This headshot. I mean, by the styling of it and how he looked.
that parted hair.
I mean, he had a Clark Gable kind of look to him, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? The
yeah.
styling, what he
Uh-huh.
was wearing and stuff.
Born Brent Douglas, the character of Doug Williams was. He later changed his name to Doug Williams. He's the half brother of Byron Carmichael.
Oh,
Apparently,
okay. I'm
according to
sure to old
Sandra,
viewers that will make sense. Means something, right?
right. According to
But for the
Sandra,
Day of Dummies, oh, it don't mean nothing.
Doug and Julie apparently were a first super couple in
Oh,
daytime.
okay,
It was
Doug and Julie.
I know
And
that they
Doug
were
and
they were
Julie's
together in the
children are
90s.
who? Who are Doug and Julie's children?
Doug and Julie's children are Hope and Douglas.
Okay, so the the Bo and Hope.
Yes.
Hope
Bo and
is their
Hope's
daughter.
Hope.
Hope is their daughter, who is currently not on the show.
No, Bo isn't
And
on the
Bo
show
is
either.
somewhere
He's in Europe in a
being
coma.
treated, right?
He's in a coma somewhere. Yeah. Hope and Douglas. I don't know. Douglas doesn't have a link. Hope does. So I imagine Douglas LeClaire is not an important character.
Or yeah, maybe they killed off the character decades ago and never brought him back.
I don't know. No children together, says Sandra. So these just must be Doug's kids alone.
Oh.
Excuse me. Let's see here. He liked himself some Susan for a while. Douglas. Come on.
He liked Susan for a while.
Now this just says Susan, so I don't know if it's some other Susan, but the only Susan I know is Susan, and that makes me happy. It does. To be able to think about Susan. Oh,
Yeah.
goodness.
There is alluring things about Susan that I've not been able to identify, but there are some alluring things about Susan.
Oh, goodness gracious. Let's see. Bill Horton met a curious character while in prison. Bill Horton. Why are they talking about Bill Horton in this article? Oh, because he was the Brent Douglas. I don't know what it. Oh, there's such a long history. Like you can't see the letters here, but this is paragraph after paragraph after paragraph after paragraph of decades of story. Where he comes in and he's in jail and he likes himself some Susan and ultimately he winds up with a Julie. Ah, what a career.
I like the character of Julie. I mean, she's wholesome as can be, but
They're
I like
both super wholesome now.
Yes, they are.
Like they're great grandparent age. You know how we talk on the podcasts before about once you have grandkids, it puts you in a new category of soap character where you're wiser and you're less violent and less prone to divorce and cheating and making terrible choices.
Yeah.
Less prone, not guaranteed
less
to
prone.
not.
Not that you won't.
Not that you won't, but but less prone, you know. You know, you don't expect Doug and Julie to betray somebody. Julie was just there being like, I will drive these kids to school, Chad. Me, 87-year-old Julie will be happy to climb into my car with the children and drive them to school, and everything will be fine. You got it.
And we saw the little man that we got to interview on Friday on the episode, and I thought it was cute, throwing the football with his dad.
Yes, little Carrie Christopher was back.
With Alex.
Yes, right? Alex and Chad, now best friends.
Yeah, now best friends.
Former enemies. But neither one of them are with Stephanie anymore, so we've got no other choice but to just be friends, be bros, be chums. We're going to start like doing that Bash Brother thing where they just start hitting each other's forearms when they see each other.
Well, they spent a little time. You know, actually, there was a couple of scenes where it was Chad and Alex having a good time, having a daddy kind of uncle moment with little Christopher.
Yeah, it was a good time. It was fun to see. And little squeaky voice Carrie Christopher, just itty bitty, tiny. What a little child.
Yes.
That kid's probably, what, 5?
He's a lot older than that.
What is he, like 8, but he's just microscopic?
Yes, it's just tiny.
He's just itty bitty?
Yeah.
I know itty bitty kids. Just little ones. Just that big for no reason. Jeannie's here. Jeannie, have you seen, did you see Angela in the hallways? Because we had to break in today.
Yeah.
But we're glad you're here, because we were talking about Doug, and we had no frame of references, and we just need you to speak, you know, wonderful things about Bill Hayes in the chat box. Sandra contributes that little Dougie, who is one of the kids that I had listed, was a part of a storyline where Robert LeClaire, who was played by Robert Clary. Is that a name you know, Robert Clary?
No.
I don't know either. In the era of Doug's Place. Oh yeah, Doug's Place is still around, right? Isn't that one of the restaurants in Portland Town Square?
I don't think so.
No? All right. Well, when was it just an old picture that I saw? I've seen so many pictures. So I have no idea from when they were or anything.
Yeah, they could be like old photos, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure the town square has been part of Salem for a little bit.
Well, definitely. It's had to have been. It seems like such a classic location for them.
Yeah.
I like the town square, though. I like the idea of a town square.
I like the town square, too. I
I
do.
want to see the other side of town square though, because we only see just that corner. I want to see the other corner.
Only see in the corner, you're right. And
You
you
know,
only see like sweet bits behind them. And once in a while you see that signage that says brasserie.
yeah, the brasserie. But we talked about it before. They've got cafes, they've got brasseries, they've got bakeries, they've got bistros, they've got
Yes.
taverns.
They show us not really the front of the bistro very much. They show us the dining room and of course the dock.
And the dock,
Where
yes.
teenagers,
The dock. Now, is
OD.
this a truck dock? I guess it's a truck dock.
Yes, it's like a loading dock.
Yeah, loading dock.
Mhm.
It's a loading dock.
Yeah.
Just makes me think
Where
of the.
Bobtail can like back into it.
Yeah, I'm very familiar. Very,
Yes.
very familiar with a setup like that. For sure. Jeannie says that she met Bill and Susan a few times at events, and they absolutely love their fans. They
Aw.
seemed like those kinds of people, though, to me. They did.
They
They did.
did.
Well, I wish that they were at Day of Days or they were at the Emmys or something, so we would have at least had a chance to see them both with our eyeballs.
I know. Well, we'll never have that chance to possibly. Maybe we'll see Mrs. Hayes. Still don't remember her first name.
I don't really know what it is either, honestly.
But
Susan Seaforth Hayes.
that's right. Susan Seaforth Hayes.
Yes. Susan Seaforth.
I always like the way they style her.
She's got such a classy old lady.
Yeah, she is. She is. I like the way they style her. I like her. I like her jewelry. But
Mhm.
I'm one of those. I like that glittery costume crap. I like that sparkly, cheap stuff that's not really cheap, but
You do.
it's not diamonds and gold either.
You do.
But I like it.
You love it.
I do,
You would
I
dress
do.
like that. When
Yes, I do.
you finally let the hair go white and you get the little pixie cut.
I don't think you're ever going to see your mom with a pixie cut.
Little white pixie cut.
Might be shorter, but I don't think I'm going to pixie it up
Just
very
a
much.
little tiny white pixie cut.
That gives me PTSD from my mom freaking shaving my head almost with that ugly haircut.
You're so
Sorry.
old and weak now that you can just barely hold yourself up. It's going to be adorable because you're still going to
Hey.
have a feisty spirit.
If I ever get like that, Matthew, you're going to have to come home and live with me again. So better stop
You
it.
think that your daughter's not going to be all over taking care of you? Please. That's already taken care. That's already handled. Handled. Robert Clary was on Hogan's Heroes.
Hmm.
Who do you play on Hogan's Heroes, Sandra? Let me know. Some other stuff happened in Salem this week as well.
There was other stuff.
There was our favorite duo.
Yes.
I'm gonna make sure you're dead. I mean, I think that just might be might just be the impression, is speaking plainly into the microphone.
Yep, there you go.
Because there's no two ways to cut.
So
Steve.
anybody that's just listening, okay, anytime Matthew talks about Patchy, you'll put one hand over your eye, okay?
Steve Johnson. There's
Yes.
no multiple ways to cut him. You
Mhm.
know what you get. I feel like he speaks fairly plainly. Maybe
He does.
He does.
He
yeah.
does speak fairly plain.
Yeah, like there's no guessing what he means. There's no second speech underneath the words he has.
Oh, he
I'm
gets
gonna
a
make sure
little
he
bit,
leaves Salem, even if I have to kill him.
he gets a little bit menacing, a little bit, but not so much. It's not that big but John Black is an impersonator's dream.
Beyond that, they're just so fun together. They unmatched duo in daytime. I can't think of anybody
I love it.
that is
Yeah,
like
I
John
love
and
it.
Steve.
It would be, to me, this is not possible. This will never happen. But it would be like having Luke and Scorpio go on another caper. That's what they remind me.
See, I never really saw any of them together, so I don't really have that frame of reference for myself.
For them to be back together as old dudes and go on a caper, that's Steve.
Well,
Luke.
I guess they would have to
Scorpio,
resurrect one of them.
It's kind of the same as John Black, and I love their little and their black patch name. Oh, and I love it.
It's perfect. It's perfect is
It's
what it is.
perfect.
It's super perfect and it's super fun and we absolutely love it.
Mhm.
I can't get enough and I want more. I want it every week. I want it every day. I want this to be the John Black and Steve Patchy Johnson show.
And I guess we're going to have to keep on. Yes. I do Salem free bologna and have them go on some kind of dumb caper. I would love it.
Just the Days of Our Lives movie. You just do a 1.5 hour special. But you put some budget into it. You get some nice cameras. You go on location. You round out the cast. Maybe have a celebrity or two come through for a cameo. Dwayne Johnson is the Jungle Cruise ride boat operator. Something. Dwayne Johnson would do it. Come on. We want you on Days of Our Lives, Dwayne. We're gonna have you a cameo in our movie. It takes you 5 minutes. He'd be there.
Sure he would.
He'd be there. They should do it. I'm gonna pitch. Well, since ABC seems to be reinvesting some money towards General Hospital, maybe I can convince Peacock to spend a little money on Days of Our Lives, huh?
Yeah. Wouldn't that be nice?
It would be nice. I would love to see just a movie, the Days of Our Lives movie. Wouldn't that be fun? That would be fun. I want that to happen. Jeannie, you want that too, right? Jeannie, are you listening? Tell me you want that.
It would be fun. It would have to be campy as all get out.
I mean that's kind of what that's what some fans seem to want from these event episodes that we have on daytime. On GH they just had the Bobby funeral, which we'll talk about at 11 o'clock.
Yes.
On the 10th floor. But
Yes.
there was a lot of people who were very satisfied and a lot of people who were very unsatisfied with it. And I think that the answer is a movie.
It's a movie.
Just make it a movie.
Make it a movie.
Make it a movie.
Why not?
Make it a movie. Make it a movie.
And make it a movie.
They should do that. They should start doing that. Just the annual soap movie events. If Lifetime can spend a couple of dollars on a movie, I think that Peacock can.
Do you know what Day showed me this week?
What did they do?
Day showed me that Kristen may have a soul.
So there has to be something about Kristen that's redeemable. Otherwise, nobody would ever want to have their baby.
Because she was nailing Brady. She was in a good old form with giving Brady the business, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when he confided in her and told her all about Tate and what was happening, she changed it a little bit. She
The
sobered up.
reason why Bristen was a thing came out. The love, the sympathy, the encouragement, the believing in the other person. It's all there.
Yeah.
That leads me to actually my poll question that I put up while you were killing time waiting for Angela.
Mm-hmm.
Who's better for Brady? Teresa or Kristen? What do you think, Mom?
Well, I know I've heard the professor say, her opinion, she would like to see Brady back with Kristen.
Yes, she would.
Yes, she would. I've heard her say it. I'm not against that. I'm not against that. But it was kind of nice to see because I haven't seen Kristen be anything but awful.
Right.
And she wasn't awful.
She wasn't awful. It was the first
Wasn't
scene.
awful.
It was the first scene where she wasn't just dripping with villainy. Like even
Exactly.
when she talks to Rachel, it still drips with villainy.
Yeah, it drips with what kind of sinister crap can we do, daughter?
Yeah.
It drips with that,
I guess
even
it
though
wasn't
she's
there
only
this
9.
time. It was just true and pure sympathy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm so sorry this is happening to your child, and I'm so sorry this is happening to you. But it doesn't make you a bad father. Your best quality is the fact that you love your children.
Maybe Kristen can get through to her brother EJ because he's cracking a little bit too. EJ's kept cracking a little bit too. He's not so much on the let's hang Tate train as he was.
Well, he had that moment after after Brady came to throw his soul upon Nicole and beg for her help, essentially.
Yes.
In the subsequent conversation EJ had with Nicole after that, he's like, oh God. Oh God.
Oh God.
Did he not do it?
Maybe
And you could see,
holy.
like you can see, like the workings in his brain. Where yes, for the last couple of days, we've seen him hell bent on getting revenge because he genuinely thought that Tate did this.
Yes.
It's not I have picked this person who is in trouble right now to punish this family. I genuinely believe that Tate put Rachel's life in danger.
Yep.
And when presented with real evidence that maybe he didn't, he goes, I could see it without him saying it. I could see him go, "What am I doing to this child?"
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I don't
good
think
job, Dan.
necessarily. I don't think necessarily he's going to like run down to the station now and say, "Oh, I've changed my mind. Oh, blah blah
No,
blah."
because I don't think he has. He's just now has the question of maybe,
Yes, he's second
maybe.
guessing. He's
Yes.
second guessing the innocence of Holly, and so is Nicole, very much so.
Bozzolini says that Kristen was a good character in the 90s, but when John left her, she became evil. John is in John Black? Listen, you can't get evil because John Black left you for Marlena, okay? Because that's just fate,
Hmm.
you know?
It is.
That's what I feel, at least. Because, John and
It-
Marlena, they're like the same person at this point.
Well, what we've seen as viewers, yes.
I mean, of course they're not the same people. Of course they have their
Yeah,
own
but
individual lives and
as
stories.
viewers, though, as viewers, you and I have only seen John and Marlena
John
in
and Mar-
absolute strawberry bliss.
Absolute
all we've seen.
Yes. Strawberry bliss.
That's all we've seen as viewers.
We have not seen an argument, a disagreement. We haven't seen them look at each other cross or side-eyed. We haven't even heard the other person say, "I'm gonna wait to tell Marlena that." Nothing.
No.
Nothing.
No.
Nothing.
Yep.
Maureen. Hey, Maureen. Maureen thinks that Brady and Kristen have the better chemistry.
Well, I'm thinking, even though I've seen very little other than the two of them just sparring, I saw that too.
I saw that too as well. I saw why. Remember, so when we first pulled up Days of Our Lives, one of the first things that I saw was Brady pull a gun on Kristen. Be like, "Give me my daughter, you're hiding my daughter," right? And then
Yep.
Rachel sees it, and it's a whole thing, and Rachel tells the police.
Yep.
And yada yada, and there's a whole blah blah blah. There's a whole thing. There's a whole thing that happens with
Whole
it.
thing.
A whole thing. All right. And then Angela was on here going, "I wanted him to put down that gun so they would just do it on the table." And I'm like, "You're crazy. You're a crazy person to want that." And then I see the scene and I go, "I understand
Yes,
why they
yes.
could put that gun down."
We saw their fiery chemistry in fighting, and now even though it was not that many, it's only one scene, but we saw that too. Big chemistry.
Yes.
Big chemistry between the two of them.
All right. I'm with it.
I think maybe they're one of those couples that just fight with passion and they love on each other with passion too.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is.
Fighting
You
or
gotta
fussing.
love it.
Fighting or fussing,
You gotta love it on your
love and
daytime
squeeze.
television.
They have passion.
So I know that Maureen contributes to the chat saying that Brady and Kristen have better chemistry. I know that she says that because she doesn't want Brady and Teresa to run off together because she likes Teresa and Alex together so much.
I personally don't think that's going to happen. I have no reason to believe that, but I just don't think it's going to happen. However, I do think they are going to maybe fall into each other's arms for a night.
Maybe one time, just over the stress of what's happened to Tate.
Yeah, and they won't get back together, but it's going to crack Alex and Teresa.
People were saying that little Jamie Martin man who plays Tate moved to Minnesota to go to college, and they might be recasting him soon.
Oh.
I'd be kind of surprised to see that, but also not at the same time, because one, it's television; these things happen. You turn 18, you get accepted to the University of Minnesota. This has been your plan for 3 years.
Well, 6 months from now,
We'll see.
yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. Now, 6 months from, so they film, there's 6 months, and then a character comes in. But the news cycle really doesn't know what's going on, or at least they don't feel like they need to report it until it's actually happening on TV. So you usually know that Jamie Martin Man has been on set, or had been on set for 4 or 5 months before the first episodes aired. They didn't mention it because what's the point? It's happening in 4 months. People are going to forget. So somebody shows up and then the headline, so-and-so has been cast, so-and-so on Days of Our Lives. Or in the case of Steve Burton, he's been gone for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. But now that there's a reason to say that he's not on the show anymore, they said he's not on the show anymore. Mm-hmm. So this kid could have a full year, a full 12 months of being on Days of Our Lives before he potentially moves on to something else, which is a significant amount of time.
It is. It is.
And plenty of time for somebody to move on, and also not so weird for like the question of, well, why did they cast him in the first place? Like a year is a contract honor,
It is.
so I'm fine with it
Certainly,
potentially.
certainly not, guarantee of 5 days. That's for sure.
You know, you've lasted the original. I was hired for 6 days or whatever it was, 2 weeks.
I think he's done a good job.
Mm-hmm.
I had a lot of sympathy for Teresa and Brady, especially when he walked in with a black eye. I would imagine as a parent of somebody that's just not ready for anything like that or
Yes.
any environment like that, I would be fit to die.
It just makes me laugh though, because he gets roughed up, right? Apparently this is the most dangerous prison that has ever been built.
Right?
Between Tate getting beat up in 24 hours to Lucas being like, I can't, they're gonna murder me. I just saw somebody get taken out of a body bag last week.
They punched him in the eye to steal a sandwich.
To steal a sandwich, like
Yeah.
and then Lucas was, worried about dying because of, being a snitch. Losers.
And we saw that scene this week.
Yes, the scene you've been waiting on.
Yeah, the scene I've been waiting for with Mr. Harris over at the jail talking to Lucas.
Yes. Most dangerous prison of all time. This kid gets beat up in 24 hours, and then you have Brady running off and asking for help because he was beaten by a grown man. Beaten by a grown man. And I don't know. I found the whole thing kind of just goofy. I found it to be goofy.
It is goofy. But Days of Our Lives is goofy.
It is goofy.
Just period.
I don't think that there's much of a pull for the creators who are writing the show, directing the show, making props for the show, set designing for the show, whatever it is. I don't think that there's a big pull for them to take it too seriously. Do they take their jobs seriously? Of course they do. Of course they do. They're going to put in maximum effort with the budget that they're allowed. Does the idea have to be based in reality? Does it have to make sense? Do the colors have to match? All of it? No. If you look at Horton Town Square, I think that's what it is. I think it's Horton Town Square is what they call it.
I think it is. I think there's a plaque there that says that.
Yeah. If you take a look at that place, it is Fantasyland. It is the fantasy la la land. Okay, Salem is not in the real world. I don't care if it's Illinois. It's Salem, Illinois, Mars.
Somebody said on the show on Friday, I don't remember what character it was, but it made me think of you because you said how much you liked Town Square all made up for Christmas. Yeah. And they said that they missed the decorations.
Oh, well, I miss the decorations too. I wish they can leave them up all year long.
And Paulina's not looking good.
Oh, no,
yeah. Through a sentence without coughing now.
Yeah, her thyroid seems to be very, very bothersome.
Very bothersome.
Very bothersome.
Yes.
And so now, she's trying to make a statement for Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Happy Martin Luther King Jr. weekend, everybody. And she couldn't get it out. And Chad and Everett, very, very concerned, working in unison, best good friends now is what they are. They're like Forrest and Bubba, is just inseparable.
Yeah.
Oh,
I can't wait. I think you're so right about Everett. He's going to turn out to be a dirty dog.
He's up to something. And we had Stephanie and Jada having a conversation, and they sort of danced around talking about him.
Yeah, and he walked out of the pub as Jada came down the stairs.
Just like that.
So that chance encounter is going to happen soon.
And he's gonna be like, "Who are you?" And she's like, "What do you mean, who are you? You're my ex-husband. I don't remember. How many times have you had amnesia, man?" I don't remember on top of not remembering. Oh, goodness.
Ridiculous.
Having Lucas spy for the third time. Apparently, this is third time we've had Lucas give us some dirt on people in prison. And my question is, how come Lucas can't stay out of jail, huh?
Oh.
How come he keeps on going back to jail?
Yeah. What's Lucas?
Is he doing like a heroic criminal work? Like, I'm doing this for the right thing, ma. And then he has to, like sacrifice himself by turning him in or taking the blame for something that he didn't really do.
Okay, you guys, I don't know. No. Hey, they look on screen together, Matt. It's a
Trace.
little with Kate and Lucas.
Uh-huh.
A little odd to me.
You don't think they look
Now,
like mother and son?
No. Now, the
Well,
reason why I
'cause
feel
of
the
Kate.
same way about Olivia and Dante on the other show.
Mm-hmm.
However, on the other show, it's been explained, and maybe it has on Days too. It has been explained that Olivia had Dante at 15 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did Kate have him at 15 or 16 years old? Or just the character of Lucas looks way older now?
Or Kate is holding it together like crazy.
Or Kate has had a very, very wonderful plastic surgeon?
Well, let's do some research here, Ma. Let me put Kate Howard into the old Google machine.
Okay. Kate Howard's on the other show, babe.
Oh, I'm sorry. Kate, what's her last name on this show? Kate Roman? Kate Days? Excuse me. Kate Howard is on the other show, huh? Kate Roberts. Kate Roberts.
Okay.
Kate Roberts is a fictional character from the American soap opera NBC's Days of Our Lives. She's played by Lauren Koslow and has been since 1996. But she's not the original actor to play Kate. The original actor's name is Deborah Adair, who was on for 2 years, 93 to 95.
That's not very long.
No, not long at all. But then she left for a year and came back with a new face and has been this person ever since. And apparently had been on contract the entire time. It's 1996 to present.
Wow.
No breaks. Which is why when they let her off contract and now she's recurring, people are like, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Sons, Austin, Lucas, Rex, Philip. I think we've heard of 3 of them. I've never heard of Austin.
Either.
But I have heard of Lucas, Rex, and Philip.
Yes. And we've met all 3 of them on the show.
Yes. She has 2 daughters, Billy and Cassie.
Got 5 kids.
Yep. That's lots of kids.
If in true form of soap opera, she got 5 baby daddies.
I bet. Brian is in his mid-50s. Kate is in her 70s. So, you know.
Well, man, I hope I look like that when I'm in my 70s. Holy crap, I look like that now.
That's the main thing that I wanted to see was Lauren Koslow. She is 70 years old exactly.
Oh.
Yeah. So, you know, just there. She had Lucas at 19, 20 years old, 21 years old, you know, which would have been the time for somebody to have a baby back in the late 70s and 80s, right?
Well, I had one at 21 years old in 1982.
Was that considered late?
No, it was considered considered early to have a baby.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't
I have no idea. I know that now, you know, I expect people to start having children at 28 and 29 years old. That's nowadays. That's when I expect them to.
Yeah, it was early, 21 years old. It was early to have a baby, but not like shockingly early.
My peers from high school all had baby, you know, they all had like 4-year-olds. So they got started at like 32. My generation of friends.
Yeah. People.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's what to me, they just, you know, and if, like I said, if they had explained it somehow, or if I had been watching all these years, you know, I view the show differently than a seasoned viewer would.
Oh, absolutely. I had a conversation with somebody on Twitter about that who was unhappy with things that EJ was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And how could he do this? He wasn't like this before. Blah, 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 da, 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 yada, yada, yoda, yo. And I'm like, you know, he's the evil DA doing evil DA things. What's your problem? And they're like, well, you know, it's just inconsistent. And I said, oh, well, I understand that. I've only been watching for this long. So these people are who they are for me.
Yeah.
You know, there is.
We don't know. We may know some of their backstory, but we didn't watch them do it.
No. And even then, I barely know their backstory. I mean, I've heard of things that Nicole has done. I know that Xander's such a bad guy.
Yes.
But I haven't really seen it.
No, we haven't. I've seen Xander look sinister a few times.
Yes.
But I haven't seen him really do anything.
No. The Xander and Nicole that I know, the Nicole that I know is very upset because her children are gone. That's pretty much the only Nicole I've known. The one that might still have a little heart for Eric, but is with EJ and
Oh,
thinks that she had EJ's baby. So,
actually, you can see she has a lot of heart for Eric. And Eric has a lot of heart for her.
well,
Oh, I do not believe that, and I don't want to see it either. I do not believe that Eric and Sloan are going to stay together very long.
oh no.
Oh, no, no, no.
No,
And I
no,
don't
no,
want
no,
them
no.
to
I feel
because
like
Sloan, as an actress, she's fine and dandy because she has convinced me that I don't like Sloan.
I feel like after this, Sloan is. I feel like Days of Our Lives is much more ready to send a character out of town than some other shows that we might talk about.
Absolutely. Like for instance, like and they just like have like, oh well, they're in town, but they're not here. Like for instance, Belle.
Right.
We're not going to see Belle. We know we're not going to see Belle.
No.
Not anytime soon, anyway.
But somebody might say, "Well, Belle told me."
Yeah.
I just had lunch
and
with
they
Belle,
mentioned her this week about how she was unavailable, I guess, to be
Tate's
to be the
lawyer.
lawyer.
Right.
Yeah, to help Tate out, right?
Right, but she can't. She's busy. She's off in Florida doing law work. I don't know. I made that up. But yeah, since the show seems a little bit more ready to send somebody out of town, I feel like once all of this, the shoe drops with Sloan, she's going to be packing a bag and leaving.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. So, and with that would, of course, be the end of a Sloan and Eric relationship.
Yes, I think.
And of course, to prove that the baby is... I'm sorry, and to prove that the baby is the baby, they'll have to run yet another DNA test on it.
I know.
In which they'll find that Nicole and Eric are the parents.
And Melinda had to talk her down, too. She was like, oh, man, I'm ready to drop this baby back off. Where's the closest fire station? Come on now.
Melinda's like, you can't do that. Everything I have rides on you keeping this baby. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Jacaria says the actor who plays Tate is doing an amazing job. It's true. It's true. Austin was last seen on Beyond Salem, he says. That's one of Kate's kids, Austin. And then Jeannie says that on Passions, Galen, which we know is Rafe Hernandez, is only 10 years younger than Ava, who played his mom, Pilar, on Passions. And we all know TJ and Jordan are the same age,
yes.
on GH.
Especially, I don't know the age of the person's playing her now.
Tanisha Harper.
Yeah. Tanisha, right?
Yeah, Tanisha Harper.
Yeah. So, but I know the previous actor that played Jordan, I mean, she and TJ were really very close together in age.
Tanisha Harper is 38 years old.
Okay, so she's a little older than the person that played her last.
I would never have guessed 38. In a million years would I have ever guessed 38. Taj Bello is 28, so they're exactly 10 years.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have guessed 28 for Taj Bello either. But then he's also so bulky that lends more age than he actually has.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would have guessed at Taj Bello at between like in his early 30s, maybe like 32, 33, 34, somewhere in there.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I thought more like a 32.
Yeah, if I were guessing.
Yeah, but whatever. He's not on this show. He's on that other
show.
show.
I would guess the same thing for Tanisha, really.
Well, you'd be right.
Well, she's in her late 30s though, right?
Yeah, 38. Yeah, closer to right at least. When the truth comes out, it's going to be a mess when it comes to that baby. Of course, it's going to be a mess, and I can't
Of course,
wait.
it's going to be a mess. It's going to be a
glorious mess.
It's going to be a hot and delicious gooey mess.
Yes, and Teresa and Alex are and no matter how much they like each other and how much good chemistry they might have, and how much he wants to put his arm around her and give her a little shoulder squeeze while she's dealing with stuff for the entire scene, Spencer Cassadine, my God, just continuing to squeeze that shoulder. Anyway, no matter how long all that's going on, it's also going to be a delicious mess when the letter comes out, especially since he's being so vile to Justin now.
Mm-hmm.
Just like I've always wanted to disrespect my father, so I am. And
he was. Alex was crappy to him,
Alex
wasn't
was
he?
really crappy. And then you also they give us a great insight into Justin with one little line where he says, "I'm not going to stand here and be berated by my son," and then leaves, which goes to show that Justin hasn't been able to let go of the fatherly feelings.
Sure, of course.
You're not my cousin, you're my kid.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And Alex still calls him dad every once in a while.
Yeah, kind of slips out.
But, and I don't think that, I mean, I don't know, but I have a feeling Alex didn't talk to him real great when he really thought he was his dad either.
I really have no idea. Chat, you're going to have to fill us in on that.
I would just guess.
I don't know.
Just guess.
But yeah, he's treating Justin like just hot garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Hot garbage.
Hot garbage.
But also at the same time, Justin's not bringing it. Okay, any lawyer worth a medal would have been able to help Tate with that. Okay, these aren't insurmountable odds. What do you have? The most evil judge on the planet as well?
No, you got EJ in everybody's ear and pocket.
Yes, of course. Yes, well, that's what happened. Is they said, well, there was one verdict, and then EJ went to go talk to the judge, and then the judge changed the verdict. Now, I don't know how, what the legal standing is for that, and I don't really care, because it's about EJ being evil, not about the reality of the law practice. So I'm with it. I'm fine. Alex and Teresa headed for disaster. There's been some pictures coming up. There's a picture came up of Robert Scott Wilson, who plays Alex, in a little tux. And the flower that he had on his lapel really suggested wedding.
Oh.
And so we're wondering, who might be getting married soon? And is it Alex?
Oh my gosh, it could be Alex and Teresa. But it better not be Maggie and Constantine. Better not be.
No, I think Maggie's got Constantine's number, right? Plus, Steve Johnson is going to make sure that Constantine leaves town, or he's going to kill him.
I don't know about all that.
Now, while Steve Johnson
may be a little more dangerous than we're all giving him credit.
Now, while Steve Johnson didn't say, I'm going to kill you, he did say, I'm going to make sure that he leaves town permanently.
Yes.
Which to me means that he's going to try to kill him. But no. So Constantine clearly sees the blue of John Black's eye.
Yes.
And remembers it from way back when.
Way back when.
He knows exactly who John Black used to be.
How could it be?
How could it be? There's no way. He died in that fire. The fire that I set with my own hands.
And you know what's funny too? That actor that plays Constantine, I have seen him. He has done so much episodal work.
Yeah.
I have seen him pop up on so many stupid things now. And I've only not something I'm like really watching because I don't watch that much TV, you guys. But I've seen a scene or two or still him, I've seen him speaking and that actor sounds so weird, not sounding like Constantine. But I'm sure what the weird thing I'm hearing is Constantine, not the other roles.
Could this be the son of my old rival, Timothy? Alive here in Salem. Didn't Teresa call Justin Alex's dad too? Probably. It's transition. People are getting used to the new dynamic. Jakarios doesn't trust Constantine, and neither should you. I don't think that they've given you any reason to trust Constantine.
If there's somebody out there that that's willing to break their own ankle, they're Fruit Loops.
Don't trust them. They're
don't trust them.
Oh,
they have went around the bend.
Jeannie says Dracula Matt. I wasn't going for Transylvanian. I was going for Greek, but hey, Ooh, I'm going to come and get you. If there's one place to do this on soap operas, it's going to be here on Days of Our Lives.
There you go.
If there's going to be a Dracula, it's going to be because we are here in Salem drinking blood. Sandra says that the current iteration of Steve Johnson is off. Something's not quite right. And I don't know what you mean because like we said before, we've known these characters for this long. Steve Johnson seems pretty Steve to me. Yep. What do you think, Sandra? Let me know. Give me some evidence.
I just can't even look at him without thinking, how's it going, baby?
How you doing, baby?
How you
doing? How's it going, baby?
It's so funny.
I'm such a smooth ladies man. I might need a little bit of a haircut, but I'm a smooth ladies man.
That was so fun.
All right, Ma, what's the last topic here? What's the last thing that we need to talk about? We covered pretty much the big stories here, so we just need to pick something crazy random and small to just tear apart, to just get into the nitty-gritty details. And I don't
What
know
shall
it
it
is.
be?
I don't know what it is.
Well, you know what I kind of expected to happen?
Yeah, what's up?
I thought when they were in Holly's room and Eric was doing the Lord's Prayer,
Yes.
I thought Holly was going to wake up.
Oh yeah, no, she's stuck in that coma, isn't she?
I thought she was going to flitter her eyes, move her hand or something. I did.
No.
I did.
But what do you think? You know, Eric there helping that couple pray their way through, holding hands with EJ and Nicole. That weird throuble.
Eric, when these kind of dire situations happen, Eric turns back into Father Eric.
He does.
Doesn't he?
He does. He's like, I still have a relationship with the Lord.
Yeah.
It's
But I like
it's the opposite of the Undertaker. You know, Eric, you know,
terrible thing for me to say.
I don't, you know, Zoom must have thought that it wasn't worth broadcasting because truthfully, I didn't hear it.
I said, but I got a problem. I still like the ladies.
Well, that's why he's not a priest and he's a bar owner. Oh goodness, yeah, it's the opposite of the Undertaker, wrestler the Undertaker, because Eric, you know, he'll pray and he'll find the Lord when things are especially bad. But when the Undertaker was a biker and he wasn't the dead guy anymore, he said on the microphone, "I'm still down with the devil and I can go there if I need to."
Oh,
right?
brother.
So
Yeah.
you know, I mean,
Well, and you know, Eric is not like that other religious dude on the other show.
no, Jeannie says the same thing too. Like great timing. No. One is praying and the other one is getting his butt kicked. There's definitely a difference.
And maybe one is an opportunistic and a phony, and Eric's not.
How could you say such things about Griffin?
Griffin.
People want to see him back over on that other show. They want to see everybody back on that other show, though. Name a character, and there's hundreds of people that are like, "I'd love to see them." They're wrong for not doing it.
There's a group of people for everybody.
Yeah. There's a group of people for everybody in Days of Our Lives, too. There's lots of people that love EJ.
Absolutely.
EJ's a very popular character, as I've found out. Very popular, and I'm happy to see that. Of course, you know, everybody loves Carson Boatman. Everybody just wants to hold his hand and go on a date with Carson Boatman.
To me, the one I find the most attractive and got that something is Brady.
Yeah. Eric Marstoff. He's got like that really cool 90s look to him for some reason for me. Like there's something about just everything about him that's just like
and when I went to
cool
go
from the 90s.
And we got the opportunity to go see those guys in the 4 players.
Yeah.
He's beefy, you guys. He had a leather vest on, sitting on that
big
box,
tattoo on his arm.
Yes, and playing
the box drum.
Yeah, playing that box drum.
He had the most simple of all of the instruments. There was guitars, okay? There was guitars. There was what did Brandon Barash play? I don't remember. Harmonica.
Yep.
And he sang, and then just Eric Marstoff the whole time, just sitting on a box, looking like somebody who's been in college for too long.
But he sure looked good doing it.
Speaking of being in college for too long, that's our cue to go.
Okay, we've been in college too long.
I don't know what happened to Angela. She must not have been able to get her car started.
I know. If we don't get out of this lecture hall, they're going to call the cops on us.
They are. I'm sure the silent alarm was triggered a long time ago. The cops are just busy. Anyway, so Kristen won the poll. Kristen, the audience thinks that Kristen, 57% of the audience that participated in today's poll thinks that Kristen is better for Brady than Teresa. Oh, Teresa, you can trust me. I guess that's going to have to be my Constantine.
In my short amount of viewing, I agree.
I agree too. Apparently, since Brady and Teresa used to be drug addicts, I'm going to assume that they were doing smack together, and it's probably best that they don't spend much time alone.
It sounds to me like they did a little bit of illicit drug use together. That was their thing.
It seemed to be their thing.
getting loaded and falling in the sack was their thing.
Ooh, was that the case? Let that be the final answer, our final question here on Days for Dummies. We dummies, ma and me, we're dumb. When it comes to Days of Our Lives, we're totally dumb. We don't know nothing. We're just innocent little children when it comes to Days of Our Lives, and we need you to answer our whys. Why? 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 So, tell us, did Brady and Kristen, or Brady and Teresa do a bunch of drugs, fall into bed with each other, and wind up with Tate? Is Tate a drug baby? Is that why EJ thinks he's done this? Answer me now, don't wait.
Maybe
They were major addicts.
Maybe that was the onset of them getting clean, was the Tate.
They're like, oh, we have to clean up for Tate. Sandra says that they were major addicts. Major's a big word. Not just addicts, major addicts. Like, I woke up and I put a needle in my arm, is what I imagine.
Yeah, like real dope fiends.
I mean, they were talking about it like it was a really big problem.
They're like hanging out in front of the Cecil in LA.
Yeah. Not like on that other show when Curtis makes a reference to his illicit time, where it was just like, I used to be on drugs and now I'm not. Look how great I am, But this was like, this was big.
No, but Matt,
Yeah.
Before we get out of here,
Yeah.
lecture hall, we do have an announcement,
We have an announcement that we're going to make an announcement next week.
Oh. Okay, we're going to announce that we have an announcement.
Our announcement this week is that we have an announcement next week.
Okay.
And I'll give you a little clue. All right? There's going to be a 30-minute countdown. And we only bring the 30-minute countdown for one reason.
I bet you guys know what it is already.
So, Anyway, not just drugs, multiple addictions. So I'm going to just fill in the blanks here. We're talking LSD. We're talking heroin. We're talking cocaine, and that's just drugs. We're talking beer and wine. Wine coolers, White Claws. They couldn't put down the White Claws. Okay. Mike's Hard Lemonade.
And Boom Farm, Strawberry Hill, and Bartles and James wine coolers. That's a problem too.
They couldn't put those down. They were addicted to eating the rind of watermelon. It's just something that they couldn't stop themselves from doing. There was a compulsion that forced them to constantly eat this very rough vegetation. Yeah, just addictions galore. Like Sally Jesse Raphael style addictions. I'm addicted to eating my couch cushions. I'm addicted to sniffing gasoline.
There is actually that stuff out there.
I know, the Sally Jesse addictions. Next on Donahue. How am I going to get over my addiction to eating the couch cushion? I just put a little styrofoam in my coffee, and the heat of the coffee breaks it down into its chemical components. And that's the taste that I'm after. I don't care that it's given me cancer. I'm addicted. Put me on TV. Jeannie is guessing it's either a guest or an event. Well, we don't have events here. I guess we had one. Anyway, I'm clicking the button now. Goodbye, everybody. We're climbing through the hole that we made in the wall. We're getting out of here. Like and subscribe. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Come back at 11 a.m. So in about 40 minutes, come on back for 10th floor. We're going to talk about General Hospital. And of course, it was a big week. So join us for that.
All right.
And we'll see you next week as well. I've been Matt.
I've been Kat.
And we'll see you, in a little bit. And then also next week.
Get out of here. The cops are coming, like we said.